have the tornado sirens. But I did have a very close friend of mine, Chris Permort. He called me on my cell phone right before it hit, and he said, you need to get in your closet now, it's coming your way.
When he called, it was 2 streets over, and I guess the tornado was heading about 50, 60 miles an hour.
10 seconds?
Yeah,
wow.
That quick.
He told me that while on the phone, I told him to call me back in 10 minutes to make sure that we were okay, and I guess I went, oh God, oh God, oh God, and then he told me that I told him we just got hit. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably been still sitting on the couch right there. I mean, there was no warning whatsoever, and God forbid something worse would have happened. You hear warnings and watches, weather warnings all the time, and you don't think nothing other happens. And, it's kind of the same way. You hear the tornado warning coming, But up until it happened, I was still like, maybe we're going to get missed, and all of a sudden, just like that, and it lasted about 5 or 10 seconds. Where were we at when it happened? Where did we go?
In the closet.
In the closet, yeah.
Where were the dogs?
In the bathroom.
Yeah. Were you scared? You weren't scared?
Were you scared of the thunder?
No.
You weren't?
Were you scared of the lightning?
No.
Okay, well good. You kept Mommy and Daddy safe, didn't you?
Yeah. Did the house shake?
Yeah.
I think it did, and our windows shook, and
our ears popped.
Yep, the pressure from the wind made our ears pop, and
yeah, we got lucky.
We kind of felt like the house was going to float up into the air, didn't we? We have 200 plus trees down, and we were quoted about $24,000 to clean it all up, because insurance will pay for the about eight trees that hit structures on our property, and that's it. We've had two men up on top of our roof that have, on different days, described to us what it looks like from on top of the roof. And they said that there is he asked me, he said, ma'am, do you go to church? And I said, yes, sir, we do. We go to First Baptist of Griffin. And he said, well, there's definitely somebody up in heaven that's looking out for you. Another day, there was a man up on top of the roof looking at our damage, and he said, it looks like God placed a dome over our house because all the trees fell with our house parallel instead of horizontally. And had any of them fallen a different direction just by a couple inches, we would have been gone. So luckily, we've had churches that have come out and donated their time. We've had family, we've had friends, teacher friends of mine from Griffin Spalding schools, and it's been humbling to see the community come together, and we feel very grateful, very blessed just to be here to tell you this story.
I got a call from my son, Charlie, and he said, Mom, you've got 5 minutes to get into the crawl space. I went, no, the storm's going to pass, it'll be fine, and bye. And he said, you don't understand, it's going to hit Sunnyside, go turn on TV. And so I did, and I just, for like probably 60 seconds, I heard it that was headed for Sunnyside, and then the power went out. So I went upstairs and hollered to my husband, Jim, come downstairs. And my dog, I have 2 dogs, and Sweetie was just shaking. And we got to the bottom of the stairs, which is right here. We have a split level, and the storm, it was like a freight train. Literally, maybe 2 trains colliding. And I just prayed the whole time, Lord, don't let the trees hit the house. It's a miracle. It's absolutely a miracle that we were not hurt and the house was not touched. And when you notice back here, the limbs, there were like 3 limbs the size of trees that were over the roof, and the storm twisted them and put them down on the ground right here. My neighbor's tree hit my car and totaled it, and it didn't touch the truck. Those branches were all twisted and right down.
Wow.
you can see where the entire sweet gum tree went over. Here's my swing for the grandkids. It was just pulled out of the ground and went over there. And this was like in 5 minutes, all this destruction. And come walk down here, be careful of the boards with nails and everything. And whew, this is unbelievable. This was a lean-to shed, and it just went over. And this tree missed the boat, but one of the branches broke the windshield. And as you see, it destroyed the rabbit. My son just fixed the rabbit pen. I only lost one rabbit. I raised rabbits. And it completely took the roof off the rabbit pen. It's somewhere. And if you just, all this, the trees are just everywhere.
I am down on my knees. I'm down on my knees.
About midnight Wednesday night, we'd been watching TV all night, and that's when they put on TV that it was going to hit Sunnyside, Henry County, and McDonough. And me and my husband was up, and my husband had stepped outside to see if the wind was blowing, and about that time the door shut. He was knocking on the door, and I had to let him back in. And by the time he got back in, we got in the middle of the house, and that's when it hit us. The trees started falling, and the wind was blowing.
The wind started picking up a little bit, but right in front of the house, it seemed like just lined up all the way up to the top, where the limbs just came up and all the way up to the top of the house. It's like the good Lord just lined it up for us.
To protect us.
To protect us. Because when it hit, I got my wife and went in the hallway, and I just prayed that the Lord just put a shield around the house. About 30 seconds after that, then I heard the whistling sound of a tornado that just come over.
We was real lucky we didn't get hurt bad, because all these trees down was all around us, and mostly them 2 big oak trees there sheltered our house, in front. The limbs and all fell on front of the house. I guess it knocked some of the wind off of us. Our Congregational Holiness down the road from here came and bought sandwiches and drinks. Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell had sent food down this road for people. So people have been real good about bringing water and ice and something to eat.
We were sitting and watching the news and watching the other storms moving and watching the radar, just seeing how close it was getting to us. And it was a little before midnight, and sitting there watching it, and it looked like it was just going to miss, Griffin area. And it started getting a little red down coming from up from LaGrange, and I was thinking, well, is it going to go up past us or come out around us? And then the power went off, so of course then we couldn't see nothing. We were lighting candles and the lantern and stuff. And about maybe 10 or 15 minutes passed, and then all of a sudden lightning started flashing, and it was almost like a strobe light. It was just constantly going all around outside, and my daughter was filming it with the camera.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden, there was a little wind started blowing. It wasn't like a rough wind or anything, just wind blowing some. And then my dogs usually when there's storms, they get real fanatic. They run back and forth and won't let you hold them or do anything. They just laid down and got really still and quiet. And to me, I thought that was unusual, you know. And then all of a sudden, it started raining really, really heavy, and the wind picked up a little bit, and then the lightning and the thunder was just continuously. And it seemed like it lasted maybe 5-10 minutes, probably not that long, but then all of a sudden, the rain kind of ceased a little bit, and then the lightning wasn't quite as much, and then it just sort of got quiet. The dogs weren't barking, and there was nothing moving, and you could just like feel something. I mean, I did. About that time, I opened my front door to look out over the tree line there, where it came in at, over that way, and I'm close to the tree line, and there was a few flashes of lightning, and I saw dark clouds, you know, just kind of coming over the tree line, and all of a sudden I heard something just making a kind of sound, and I suppose that's when it was hitting the trees. But I slammed my door and went running into the hallway, and then my husband, he came out, and I said, what do we do? And he said, let's get in the bathroom. And no sooner we got in there and closed the door, the sound was just loud, just humongous, that swishing sound. And you could feel the trailer vibrating and hearing all the debris blowing outside. And in 30 seconds, it was done. We get up and walk out the door and see everything. It was just unbelievable, you know. And the rain was still just pouring down. And we got word that one of our tenants that lives in one of our trailers that got missed, that was sitting between two that got hit, he came running over and told us that our tenants in trailer 83 and 84, they were totally demolished and they were trapped inside. And so I have some tenants across the street. I just thank God for our lives. We had tenants across the street that came out when my other tenants started pulling them out of the rubble so we could get over here. And we spent all night long, the rest of the night, all day, the next day, into 9 o'clock Thursday night before we actually stopped pulling out stuff and trying to salvage what we could in the rain and then in the heat. I have 2 that are completely destroyed, 4 that are major damage. It's got a lot of work to be done to. Actually, the one I'm living in, but that's okay. My main concern is getting all the debris up and getting my tenants, you know, in another place so they can be safe out of the heat and have, you know, we still don't have electricity for my tenants on this end, but God's going to provide for that, and that's being worked on. And, you know, that was my main concern, just to make sure that my tenants were okay. And, you know, my property where I'm staying it'll be okay, and we can manage with the chemicals and everything for another week if we have to. God started sending all these wonderful volunteers in here, bringing in food and water and clothing and medical supplies, anything that we needed, you know. And it was an experience like I've never been through in my whole life. But the first most thing is I am grateful to God that He spared all our lives. I'm very thankful for that, but it was an experience I've never had before, and I hope I never go through again.